Thanks for staying with us. Now, in its most basic form, the begin with the end in mind maxim refers to always having the end of our lives as our frame of reference to evaluate everything else. It's also about doing things with a clear idea of our destination so that the steps we take are always in the right direction. Death is a natural part of life, and it's normal to think about it from time to time. But it's very common for people experiencing mental illness to think about death more than usual. But that's not our focus for tonight. Thinking about death all the time might feel uncomfortable or scary, but at the same time, it pushes us to live productive lives and get things done that can be done today instead of postponing. It also helps us live our lives to leave humanity better than we met it. If we all understood that death was inevitable, how would we treat our friends, our families, our neighbors, our subordinates, and those that are made to govern us? How would they treat us? That's our question for tonight. So please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. All right, so let me come to you, Uti, first. Then I'll hear Bodex. When this topic came to you first, I know everybody said, God forbid. What was the first thing that came to your mind? Like living your life with death at the back of your mind?
So in truth, the first thing that came to my mind was, what angle are we going to talk about this from? But for me, like you said, it's about actually taking a minute to stop. We all live very busy lives these days. It's important for us to be able to stop and say, you know what is happening in my life? Am I living the life I want to live? Because for so many of us, for so many people, life is happening to us. You wake up, you sleep, you wake up, you sleep, you wake up, you sleep. I mean, somehow my child has gotten into his head that he thought I was 10 for the longest time. So now he's remembered that we just celebrated 40. So he's telling everybody that he cares to tell that his mother is 40. But you know, sometimes you stop and you think, what actually have you done with the last 40 years? You know, what is significant? What is memorable? What is driving you? And you never want to confront death. In fact, I never used to think about death until I became a mother. And then I seemed to be afraid of everything because I thought, oh my God, something will happen and I'm going to leave my child behind. But the reality of it is, we have to stop and think about it, first of all. We have to confront the elephant in the room that says, everybody's going to die someday. Step one. Step two, we have to decide what kind of life. You know, some people are okay being average. Some people are okay with life happening to them. Some people are, when they confront life, when they confront the issue of death, they think, well, if I'm going to die anyway, so what's the point of doing anything? You know, what's the point in bothering?
Yeah, so they don't just bother.
They don't bother. So, you know, it's just like, you know, let me just sleep, wake up one day, everything, move on. But for some people, it's a driver. You know, they want to leave an impact. They want their name to be memorable. They want the world to remember them for something. It may not be the entire world. It might just be your family. It might be, you know, something. But you want to be remembered for something. 2-3 generations down the line, you want people to be able to remember your name. And that is a powerful driver. That is what drives us to say, you know what? How can I make the world a better place? How can I, whether it's for the entire world, whether it's for my family, whether it's for my community, but how can I be impactful? And that, for me, I think, is what we should all be trying in our own little way. It's not about being the next, exactly. It's not about being the next Einstein. It's just the little things that we do that really make a difference in people's lives. People who have sent other people's children to school, you know, people can look back and say, this person was significant in my life. That, at the very least, is what we should strive for, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Let me come to you, Bodex. You know, so when the topic came to you, what was your initial thought, and what do you think about this topic? Because you see, for me, it was just too many overwhelming stories. Like as I mentioned earlier, you know, this one it just dies, one dies, and again, I mean, there's this music Patoranking released about "Celebrate Me While I'm Still Alive." You know, people are quick to just say to you that, oh, it was such a, you know, when someone dies, all of a sudden you just begin to realize how fantastic the person was. You now wish, oh, how wish I met this person and all of that. So I keep wondering, like, you know, do we truly live our lives pouring out everything? Because, you know, that part about, you know, dying empty. Do we really do that? So let me hear your thoughts on, you know, when the topic came to your mind.
Yeah, when I was sent that topic, funny enough, I was indifferent about it because I've always had it at the back of my mind that one day someone will go. Fela has the name Anikulapo, which means he has death in his pocket. Everybody has death as his or her second name, actually. We have death in our cars, we have in planes, we have it even here. I'm not saying we're going to die. So that look. Death is actually everywhere. But the circumstances at which it comes to reality, that is what makes it fulfillment. Like, okay, this person is gone. So for me, it makes me cautious of what I do with people. It gives me this conscience of, I would love to make heaven. So let me just borrow myself sense and live right. Because I have life, but I don't own it. As they are giving birth to you, they're also giving birth to death. So what's all the seriousness that we're about, especially the politicians that you talked about? If they have it at the back of their mind too, you people, you will have sense. When you know that this 100 billion you just mentioned, to monitor somebody's chat or phone calls, nothing will wake up tomorrow. Please, what are you people monitoring?
You'd have channeled that money to go and build better healthcare.
So I think we should keep preaching and keep creating more awareness on this death thing. Look at TB Joshua. When he died, I saw the post online. I was like, this guy is gone, true. So he can actually die. But what actually made his own death kind of beautiful is because of what people were now saying about him. To the extent that my house girl, when she heard the news, she was like, oh, I didn't kill my auntie. I said, your auntie go away. You go synagogue, go do a thing. She get this one, she get that one. Same thing with Sam Sultan. Everybody was saying good thing about him. He was actually a very good friend of mine. You know, anytime you see him at events, and even if he did not want to just be on that red carpet, once he sees me, Bodex, I know you will abuse me. Shall I bring the mic? Let me talk. He was down to earth. We did not expect it. But I can tell you that that guy had it at the back of his mind because he was doing things so religiously. He doesn't like to step on toes. He does not hurt. He helps when he feels, okay, if I help this person, this is the outcome that the person will get. That fulfillment. I think that's what death should stand for, fulfillment. When you know that you're going to die, when they ask you to come to work 8 o'clock, you should be there on time. You should live righteously. You should learn to also be okay with what you have. If you acquire a lot of things and tomorrow you die, they'll still bury you the same place they're burying a poor person. So what's the essence of all the things you're gathering? If you have just a house, 2 beautiful cars, to me, I think it is okay. Because the next generation, they are going to advance all these buildings that we have used. The cars will be more developed. They won't even remember. Do you understand? So then the question will now be, what is the legacy?
What these ones, yes.
What legacy did you leave behind? Now everybody is talking about Sultan. Hey, he did this. You, if you go, what will people talk about? Do you always get nasty when you have your guests on your show? How do you treat them? Do you smile? You should do something that.
But you should tell us how we treated you, Sha.
No, we know they die yet. We know they die now. You know? So there's no point. You know, so that's it for me.
I mean, it's quite interesting what you're saying, because for me, I think when that topic came to my mind, honestly, it is just a point of reflection, right? Okay. Where we live like we do not have tomorrow. So there's a task in front of you. Just being effective, being productive. I love this book so much, and I brought it because I actually have the book for, this is the one I bought for my kids when they were a lot younger. Okay. 7 Habits of Happy Kids. I mean, I should recommend this for any parent out there. It's very, very good. It's like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but they did the kids version. The second habit is begin with the end in mind. It just tells you about planning, right? If you always have the end goal in mind to say, okay, this is my end goal, this is my vision. So you will now walk it back to the beginning. It tells me that for every single thing that I need to do today, you know, like today I'm supposed to be angry with somebody, but I'm still angry with her. She knows that she's watching, you know. She's supposed to be here, but she's not here.
Please,
but you know, when you understand that, you know what, this life is short. However long you live, it's still short, right? So if you picture it, let's say God gives you the grace to be able to stay 120 years like the Bible says, right? What would you do every single day? You know, towards the end goal, that you have that fulfillment to say, you know what, I have lived.
Done something.
I have emptied myself to the world, right? Would you be part of the people looting funds that are meant to build roads? Would you be part of the people that are siphoning medications from hospitals that are supposed to be given to people for free and charging them COVID vaccine? Food. People were paying money, you know, palliative, hoarding palliative, yes, and using it for your birthday. You know, would you be part of the people that will be charging people for a vaccine that's supposed to be free? You're charging money for it. You know, just look at that picture. If everybody had that at the back of their mind, that I want to, like you rightly said, I want to make heaven. I want to die, but I want to die and be happy dying. That I have lived a good life, right? I think we would act our lives differently, because there are so many things going on today. I just keep wondering, like, do people really realize that, you know what, this life is not yours? You can go tomorrow.
People actually don't believe that there's death.
Yeah.
So no, I mean, come on now.
Some people don't. They think they're above death.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing about it is, when you were talking now, I almost wanted to say, I was thinking that your view is very utopian. The people know that they will die. They will still do these things because the mindset is, let me eat and enjoy the one I can do now. You know what? If I'm going to ride in a Bentley, let me ride in a Bentley now. You know, so I don't see that a lot of people are moved by that conversation that says, let me do better because death could be around the corner. What I see in Nigeria, and you sort of mentioned it, Bodex, when you talked about contentment. We have a problem in this country with greed, with a lack of content. Because if we did, if we, you know, and this is even me asking myself. I had this conversation with myself in one of my reflections. I remember thinking to myself, I was raising my nose up at my car. And I said, I want a different car. And I caught myself and I said, what's wrong with your car? You get in, you turn the key, it starts. It gets you from point A to point B. I mean, it's not a Rolls Royce, it's not a Bentley, but does it get the job to be done? Yes, it does. So I had to catch myself to say, no, don't give yourself a discontent that nobody gave you. Because all of a sudden of course, yes, I want to tell myself that I could be driving a better car, I should be driving a better car. But is the one you have right now, isn't it doing the job it is supposed to do? And that's what we have to realize, that a lot of what we're suffering today is that lack of contentment. And it's not wrong. This is not me saying that it's wrong to want more, because you can push yourself, you can do better.
But to what end do you want more?
No, so that's what I'm trying to say, is that it's not the wanting more is not the bad thing. It's when the intent. It's when you keep saying, you know, because I can choose to want more today because I want my family to eat better. Noble. I choose to want a bigger car just so that, yes, when I sit in the car, people look at me, she has a nice car. It doesn't make sense. Thank you. It doesn't make sense. So for me, that's what I see, where I say, look, we have to be content. We have to be focused on the right things. When we think about the future, when we think about death, we should be more concerned with what people will say about us. Like you said, people don't say a lot of things about you when you're alive. I mean, I think that most people forget to talk about people and say what's dear to them. I remember when I shared in March that I wanted to record videos about the women that were my village. And it seemed like such a big deal. And to me, it was just a short video to appreciate the people that were dear to me. But people don't do that. We don't have the time. We don't remember to say to people, oh, I'm just picking up the phone to tell you, you know, you matter to me. But when you die, of course, it's an outpouring, and that's what we hope. But more people should be focused about the fact that when you pass, people shouldn't celebrate your passing because you have passed. They should celebrate your life.
That you've lived.
That you've lived. Now, let me try and piggyback to the politicians that you talked about. Now, how many people would that happen for? Genuinely, that are not motivated by money or greed. So it's a powerful topic. I mean, we don't like to, I mean, we've talked about insurance here on the show a couple of times, and people just, Nigerians is God factor. It can't happen today, God forbid. No. But we must be able to stop and think, to say, you know what does the future hold? I have children, I have a family, I have people who depend on me. What is it that you're doing with yourself? And more importantly, you know, when we talk about leadership, and I think I've said it a couple of times, servant leadership is missing. It can't be. If Jesus himself could wash the disciples' feet, we need to rejig this thought process of leadership. We have
is leaders.
Yes, we gain so much more traction as leaders by actually focusing on making the lives of the people that we lead better, on actually serving them to drive us to our goal, to our objectives. But I mean, what do we see today?
I think it's actually because people don't understand humanity. If you understand the deep meaning of humanity, there are some things you will also do that will also be differently, like our politicians that we actually mentioned. If you see me as your fellow human, and you know that there are some basic things that are actually now important that I need, you will definitely want to do the right thing. But when we don't understand humanity, that's even when people get celebrated more when they die. And why? It's because I'm not going to see that person again. But seeing you every day, I just feel, okay, Uti is there, Uti is there, so person is there. But once you're gone, that feeling, that disconnection of, oh, so I won't see this person again forever. That's another reason why people start celebrating when you're gone. But when you ask me, I would say, you don't need to acquire so many things. Instead, acquire human beings to yourself. Because those are actually the people that will keep that legacy and that's your good name going. If you didn't do anything very well while you're on earth and you just go, it goes like that. And that's the only thing that scares me in this world. Dying without achieving my purpose is scary. It's even more scary than the death that we're actually scared of. And it is painful. Knowing that, oh, I want to do something tomorrow that the whole world will hear it. Then tomorrow, okay, you're gone. But people behind me that have empowered, that have been able to relate my dreams, my goals, my vision and objectives with, if they were also able to key into those things, there'll be one person out of 100% that will also shoot out. But here in Nigeria, especially Africa, we just only I want to have like 10, 15 different cars. For what? I have the money to buy it, but I would rather go to less privileged home, you know, and
build
empower
schools,
them.
build hospitals,
You
right?
understand?
Build things.
Set people up.
I mean, if you're a billionaire, instead of buying all of these things, imagine if you set up schools that people can go to for free. It will make a lot of sense. But you know, it's not for me because I don't have the money. They will say I don't have the money. We'll take a short break. When we return, we're going to open our phone lines and we'd love to really hear what you have to say about this topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Now, if you just tuned in, it's our ladies' night out, and we are asking, would you live differently if death was in the picture? And if so, how different would it be? Please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Our phone line is also now open. Please, when you call, ensure that you keep it within a minute and turn off the volume of your television set so we can hear each other. So to call us on 070-2500-7749. That's the number to call. All right, so before we go further, I mean, there was a video that Uti just played for us. I really like the part of there's never a perfect time to do things right, because a lot of times we always feel like we have time, so we keep pushing and pushing, we're waiting for that perfect opportunity. So me, I mean, looking at my life, you know, I think I live my life every day. If I have a vision, if I have a goal, I try. If I fail, it's fine. But I do not keep it to say, you know what, let me wait for that perfect moment. Maybe when I have the funds. I mean, you want to start a business, don't wait for when the money is complete, or you want to do this, don't wait for that. I mean, also, most times, people buy new clothes, as simple as new clothes, new lingeries, right? They keep on pushing it. They keep on. One day I just sat up and said, I can't be buying all these lovely lingeries and I'm waiting for the perfect evening to wear.
To rock it.
So I just by myself, every single night, I will be, after having my bath, I will carry all those my sex, because my sexy lingeries, I used to keep them. For, you know, I just felt like, okay, there was special nights.
For Jesus.
So, I mean, I'm just telling you, as basic as that, people do not even live.
Yes.
You buy a lovely set of plates. You are waiting for the visitor to come for you to bring out your lovely dishes. So, Norma used to tell me, why don't you set the table like you are
and act like your own visitor.
So we deny ourselves the privilege to live because we just feel like, you know what, let me push it for a later time. I mean, there was a part of the video, because I'll let Uti come in, and where people say people hate their jobs. You clearly do not like what you're doing, but you're going there every single day because you think you have time. You're dying. Because if you bring back that quote that said, you know, the end of that quote that said, a lot of us, you know, we are dead already inside. You know, that's literally the meaning of that quote, right? I mean, people are in marriages that they are like literally choking, but they still stay because you know what?
Societal talk.
Do you understand? So when do we even begin to start to live? You know, when do we begin to start to live and push, you know, all the great things that we have on our inside for humanity to be blessed by? Yeah, Uti.
So I mean, if I speak to that video, it's an awesome video. But two things that stood out for me in the video. The first thing was, you know, the wealthiest place on the planet is the graveyard. And every time I put this, every once in a while, I put it up on my WhatsApp status and people ask me, you know, about it. But the reality of it is that so many people go to their graves with ideas, with inventions, with greatness that they never birthed because there was no time. They thought it wasn't the right time. They thought they didn't have the opportunity. So many things that they could have done that they don't do. And I think the second thing in that video was the fact that there are 64,600 seconds in a day. And what do you do with them? We sleep and we wake up. We sleep and we wake up. You know, when you were a child, Christmas took a lifetime to come. December seemed like it was forever.
Far away.
Like, I remember because, like, you know, I went to school when the school year was January to December. And I remember that December, it felt like it took forever. And there were so many things to look forward to in December. And it just felt like it took forever to come.
Chicken and jollof rice.
Now that we are older, you sleep, you wake up, it's Christmas again. I mean, when did 2021 kick in? Guys, the first half is gone.
We're already in the first half.
We're in the second half already. So literally, you think to yourself, did the clock just start speeding up and I'm not aware? But that's the reality of it. So we assume that we sleep, we wake up. We assume we sleep, we wake up. And a lot of the time, we don't even get the opportunity. Actually, life is that busy, at least for myself. You don't get the time unless you actually hold yourself, catch yourself and say, you know what, stop and think. What's the plan? Are you aligned? Are you on track? Or has life pushed you off and you've been too busy to notice?
Absolutely.
I remember when Chadwick Boseman died. My goodness. It's funny that you bring out this book. When he died, I started reading Purpose Driven Life again that same day. Like I couldn't comport myself. Because I remember so many videos that I had seen of him. And then to now hear that he had been dealing with this in all that time.
Yes.
I thought to myself, Uti, surely you can do better. Because this is somebody who, even in the face of death, because I had to ask myself, I said, Uti, if this happens to you tomorrow, I fear that I would be one of those people that would just be like, you know what, let me just lie down. You know, let me just lie down. But to be able to sit and still be able to stand in front of people, young people who are about to start their lives,
I'll make them smile.
and speak about the future and inspire them. When you know that your clock is doing tick, 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 I mean, come on. I mean, if that's not greatness, I don't know what is.
So I think it was the fact that he knew that his time was short that made him do that.
But he could have been bitter.
Yes,
he could have been angry.
Yes, he
If
could have
he
been
was strong
angry
enough.
There's
at life.
so
Yes.
many ways that picture could have played out.
Yes.
But it just shows you what greatness looks like.
He didn't allow it to weigh him down.
Exactly.
He
It shows
didn't.
you what intentionality looks like. And that's what we all need to be aspiring to. Me, it is a battle every day. Because when you were talking about starting a business, just start. If you've read that book, I think everybody knows whether they're sanguine, they're choleric, they're... I'm a key melancholy. Analysis to paralysis. I'm going to tell you, the line is not quite straight. You got to measure twice, cut once. 99 is on. I will tell you everything. Why? But personally, my life changed when I started to take risk. It was life-changing. And it's not big risk. Just even small things that
you would never have done before.
So we have to start to think about it. And for me, that's what, if anybody takes anything away from this conversation, is to, one, really understand who you are. What drives you. Because you are driven to make a difference. Not everybody's driven to make a difference. Some people are driven to make money. But just understand who you are, what drives you, and focus on that part. Focus on your focus.
Focus on your focus.
Focus on your focus.
So this is from Richard from Lagos. It says, "Hi ladies, every new day is a gift. Live each day as if it is your last." You know, we hear this all the time. Thanks, Richard from Lagos. We hear this all the time, but how many people really do practice living, yes, each day as if it were your last? How easy is it to practice?
I think just like I think it was Uti or you know, somebody said we're not trying to live. I think we are trying to survive.
Yeah, we're just existing.
Yes, we're just there. When I wake up, you know, I remember when I was small, I already had this death thought while I was small. So because of that, I didn't have savings. Once I work and I just gather small money, I will go and spend my money. I'm telling you, I'll buy all the turkey in Badagry, because I'm actually from Badagry. I'll buy the turkey, I'll buy kenke, I will just spend it. And during Christmas, my father will be like, okay, all the turkey where you don't chop, go and join all the cartons together, use it to make your clothes and wear it. And I'll be like, no, people don't understand, because if I die now, somebody will now go and carry that money, and then the person will just be spending the money. So it's better for me to start spending it. It doesn't mean that we were saying that you shouldn't save, because the repercussion was even worse than when I had money. It got to a point, me that I was busy spending, it got to a time I needed money, and I was like, so I did not die again. Okay? So where will I now see money? So because of that, when I work, I save, then I have some percentage that I use to take care of my own life, so that if anything happens tomorrow, and the small one we did there, with the few things that I have on ground, that's what people we use.
You know, there's also this culture of, because I like where you took us to, there's this culture of, you know, you have aged parents. You don't give them money, you don't do nothing, then all of a sudden tomorrow the person dies.
The burial is...
Then you now see the burial. I'm wondering, like, really? I mean, I just shared a video that AY posted that, you know, somebody was saying that he wished all these people that are here, they were actually there when the person was alive, to tell the person all of these things, to show up for this person, right? So this tells you that no matter what it is, if it's that birthday, you just need to just pop in, give them a hug, give them a kiss, tell them, well done, you're doing a great job, and you go, even in your busiest schedule or whatever it is that you have.
I think it's actually part of life for us to celebrate and also not to celebrate. It's also part of life for you to be celebrated after life.
No, you don't get the point. It's not about being celebrated after life. It is the fact that I am alive. right? I truly would love all the gifts.
That's
All
what
that
I'm
money
saying.
that you want to spend.
It's already part of life process.
You see why I like the
so
Muslim burial?
let me
You know why I like the Muslim burial?
Immediately.
Let me
They just wrap you in a mat and they put you in the ground. There's nothing like money spent and all of that. Do you understand?
No, money
Why would
still
you
gets spent.
Yes, they will get, but not that much.
Let me
Not as
let me
much
put
as
it in
Christians.
context. It's funny. When we were growing up, my my grandfather's brother went to a burial, and he saw all the fanfare and everything. He went with my mother, and he said, "All these people here eating rice, eating everything. When this man was alive,
Where were they?
he couldn't eat, right? So he turned to my mother and said, 'Let me warn you now.'
Start giving me the food I want to eat.
He said, 'Let me warn you now.' He said, 'See, you people are taking care of me, but if you are going to waste money like this when I die, give me all the money now.
Let me
eat
enjoy it.
When I die, wrap me up in cloth and throw my body away.'" So I remember every time my mom used to remember him, this is what she used to say. But that's the thing. So we make all this fanfare. But when you look at the life of the person when the person was alive, you could have done better. I think that's what Uwa is trying to say. So from our parents' perspective, you could have done so much better. But of course, when it's time for burial, you want to show the world that, my parents did so much for me. But you know, it's just, again, it's that mindset shift of where we place our focus. And why I say that is because even now, we need to be intentional about what we focus on. And what do I mean? We stick to the material. We look at my car, what I can buy. I have a joke with my friends that say, people would rather spend $400 or $500 on the Hermes slippers. But if you tell them tomorrow, come and spend 50K, take your child out for the day to lunch and everything, they won't do it. We need to understand the value of memories. Because when you go, what people talk about
is the memories, the good memories you left behind.
That's what they remember. When we see young children, probably when you think back to your boys, the kind of joy they get from just being in your presence as their parent, from spending time with you. It's not about money, it's not about what you're doing. It's just the fact that, oh, I got to hang out with my dad today, I got to hang out with my mom today. When your parents are long gone, that's what you remember. The jokes you guys told. Which child ever remembers that my mom bought me this shorts or my mom bought me this shoe? No. What we remember is the conversations that we had, the experiences that we shared.
What your mother said.
So when we are calibrating our priorities, let's calibrate right.
Absolutely. And I think that's what actually this topic sums up for us. The fact that, you know, when you wake up every morning, right? What are the things that are most important that needs to be done? It just helps you to just put a lot of things in perspective. Too many people just die, you know, taking great ideas with them that should have, you know, been birthed and, you know, gone very far. They would have gone, I mean, those ideas would have gone really far into, like, you know, upgrading humanity. Right? And that's why I like the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. When you begin to go through all this book, you know, first things first, put first things first. So it means prioritize what is important. You know, begin with the end in mind, have a vision and walk back through the vision. There's one that says win-win. When you think win-win, it means that, you know what, everybody wins at the end of the day. You know, so imagine if we become that productive. Some of the problems and the challenges that we have naturally in this nation would automatically be sorted out. Just being, you know, in tune with that being, that self. You know, so for me, I don't know. I don't know how we can get more people thinking about this.
I think
can we get more people thinking about this?
We need to keep talking about it. We shouldn't let anybody with great ideas die, you know, without fulfillment. A lot of people are having finances problem. If they approach you and you feel it's something that can fly, please, we are begging you in the name of God, just help these people. Do it for them. Because when you do things that make you fulfill, you even die very well. When you're on a sick bed and you know that, okay, Uti has shown me so much love, she has supported me, okay, let me just go. compared to, please, good afternoon, I want this, I have this, please, I don't have. And the person knows that you actually have it. It's not nice. Let's be helping each other. Don't let us die with our dreams. We have dreams. If nobody is coming to you as a billionaire, as a politician, wherever you are, go into the streets. Start looking for them. Do you have idea? Or go on Twitter. Think about it. Please, which idea do you have? I'm even tired of this money. Just come. Come and
the money is there. I see the
yes,
video with some money
building
exactly.
and all of that.
And
you know?
in fact, it speaks to this comment that we have here from Ade that says, "Good evening, ladies. Tonight's topic is so essential. Our so-called politicians and bad leaders gathering wealth should watch this program. This life is too short, and we need to bless the needy around us and work for our salvation." So that just completely sums up what you were saying.
Okay, so
at the TV stations, if people come to you that they have shows, give them time.
do you have one? No, but they give us time here.
Bodex has a bucket list.
Bodex has a bucket list.
Media personalities, media houses, please.
Influencers, Bodex,
yes,
you too.
don't let us die because and Bodex came one time. It's a lie. You people will support me, whether you like it or not.
True.
Me, I will not die with my own dream.
Amen.
Raphael Akori says the truth about death is that people never learn a lesson. This life is just temporal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I wish we could ring it in, but I think we've done very good justice to the conversation. The conversation was just to help people reflect. It's not a feel-good topic. People don't like, you know, feel-good matters.
Yes,
But don't run away.
Nigerians don't like talk
we
about
were supposed to be four,
yes,
right?
the phone they ring.
You see, one of us already don't run from death.
I will announce it on social media who ran away from the conversation. I just don't want. I said, what is your reason? She didn't have any reason to give me, and I'm
She's
still upset
scared.
with her. But you see, the thing is, honestly speaking, I have come to understand that there are many more important things, you know, than just all these things that we chase after. So when you have that clarity, that understanding, I was going to talk quickly on life insurance. You know, the concept of life insurance, people think, you know, how can I be planning my death? But honestly speaking, if you have love for the people you're having leaving behind, you will just take up some things that would ameliorate their whatever hardship or something that might come as a result of your demise, right? So there are so many things that can happen. If you do that, you become if it's a mother, you become a more responsible mother. When you know that, if anything happens tomorrow and I'm not here, you would raise your children in a different way. You will raise them in a way that, you know, if you're not there tomorrow, they can stand and they will stand very strong. You will not spoil them. You know, so there are too many talking angles to some of this conversation. But I'm happy that, you know, we're able to just, so quickly, Uti, in 1 minute, and then let me come to Bodex first, then I'll come to Uti. What do you want to say to anybody outside in 1 minute or 1 second?
Oh, okay. I just want to say, please, live right. Do the right thing. Do not hurt anyone. If you feel positive about anybody, tell them. If you don't, please move. If you're not in love with anybody, don't lie that you're in love, because there are some people that are extremely emotional and they are faithful.
Who broke Bodex's heart, yo?
I mean, I think that we've said it all. For me, it's about intentionality. If your legacy is important to you, don't wait for tomorrow. Don't be like Kuti. Don't wait for tomorrow for it to be the best time. Start today. Really, really think about the difference you can make. And please, focus on creating great memories. It will live long after you.
Absolutely. I'm still recommending this book for children, and I'm also recommending 7 Habits of Highly Effective People for Adults. Go and get that book. It will help you live differently. All right, so before we go, do ensure you follow us. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Uti. Thank you, Bodex. We had fun. Before we go, so do ensure to follow us on Instagram at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, we are planning a huge giveaway just to say thank you to you for watching and believing in the Ways brand. So do well to follow us. It's at PlusTvAfrica. Follow us now. Like, share, and invite your friends and family to watch us and follow as well. So if you miss today's quote, here it is again. Service and gratitude will feel... Death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss is what dies inside of us while we live. That's the quote for today. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.